right, so check it out, man. Here we are, Crazy Smooth Combat Radio. It's been about, a month and a half, I think.
Whatever it's been your fault.
It's always my fault.
I know.
It's always my fault because you're always busy punching people or training someone to punch people or...
No.
Yeah?
I try to.
All right.
That would be me.
That'd be him.
Oh, you're training him.
I like to think we train each other.
And this is our first official guest.
Bit.
We've been doing this for a year.
I know.
I think we have 7 or 8. I don't know, something like that.
We got a fair amount.
Right.
We got enough.
Yeah.
And I meant to tell you.
All right.
I was waiting to go into Thai.
Yeah.
And a young lady came up and says, "Oh, you're the one that does Crazy Smooth Combat Radio." I was like, "Oh, some bitch I am."
We got a fan?
We got a fucking fan,
We got a fan.
We did it. High five.
All right. High five. Yes,
boom.
there we go.
None for you.
And Ryan Bellafi. Did I say it right?
Not even
Belinfi.
close.
Not even close? Oh, well,
Hey, man,
that's
I've
all
heard
right.
everything, so I'm used to it.
Sorry, buddy. Sorry.
We're still high tech.
good.
This time
That's
we're not
right.
only.
Two
We have
cameras.
1, 2.
Which one's?
One,
There you go.
2.
Hi.
Check 1.
It's more looking at you guys.
Camera
I
1.
didn't set the cameras up to look at me.
That's because you're hiding your hair.
I-
I took my hood down.
Wow,
Too
we're
fucking late
doing that? We're going to
Too
go on there.
late.
You, of all people, should not talk
now.
about
I'm
hair.
directly underneath.
Yes,
this
you
one,
are.
too.
So you get that nice shiny
That's all
spot
right.
right on the top of your forehead.
That's all right. It's the same thing. Every time I watch a fight of mine, I'm like,
Look at that.
oh.
Oh, that's wrong. You just need to go
I
bald.
watch them on
Bro,
like YouTube.
it's
or
time to
whatever.
just shave them bald,
I
man.
can't. Do you see how many scars I have on my head?
Who cares?
Just trying to hold on to what little he has left.
You don't talk there, boy. I'm gonna hold
He's
you
got-
down.
well, look, he's got a lot
He
of
was
hair on
talking
his
head.
about.
I've been growing it
before
out,
I've been
so-
growing up just to cover out the fact that
Cover up this patch
Yeah,
right here.
let's see the power rallies. There
Wow.
they are.
Wow.
Oh,
That's right. Get it
we
back down,
started
back
off
down,
on
back
a
down.
strong note.
We
This
did.
This
We
is
did.
an
Here we
MMA-based
are.
program.
How are you, man?
I'm banged up somehow. I don't know how. I took like 2 months off for broken ribs. We covered that last time,
We did.
and now I'm hurt again.
You are walking normal.
Seconds.
I know. Yeah. Right?
You're walking semi-normal now.
Semi-normal.
Yeah.
So as normal as I walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this little aches and bruises I think just add up.
You're just getting old, man.
Don't say those things.
I'm sorry.
I am.
I'm sorry.
I am, but I'm trying to
You're
deny it.
young. You're young.
I'm going to turn 30 again in another week. It'll be nice.
Dirty 30?
Yeah.
You're dirty 31.
It'll be 31. It'll be, I like to think of it as 30 the sequel. It's going to be
30 the sequel. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. So, of course, we are here this filming now that we have upgraded to GoPro action.
dual GoPro.
Yeah, we have dual GoPro, which I don't know why we always pick the high shots, but I don't think
because that's the only way to get all of us.
That's the only way to get the light shine down on set.
You're
just
right. You're right. You're right. So we
For
brought
a new guy, you're running your mouth.
Yeah, I
off.
like it. I like it. I
I've
like
been
it.
hanging out with you, so
That doesn't help.
We brought Ryan in because Ryan's got a fight coming up, and
this
you are
Friday,
our
yeah.
first official guest, man. Welcome to
excited to be
welcome
here.
to the show. You look like you're
Thanks.
excited.
I am. I'm good.
That's where he peaks.
excited.
That's
Yeah,
the
that's
peak
it.
of Ryan's.
That's about it.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah,
it.
after he wins, he gets about 2 seconds of yelling angrily, and then he goes
And
back
then
to
it's
just
straight face. Time
resting
business.
bitch face.
So you're just is that what it is? You have male
got
resting
RBF.
bitch face,
I'm
man.
coming at the end of my fight camp right now, so any laughter that I can get's a plus.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So how is fight camp going for you, man? Give us a little bit about
It's
about
good.
you,
The
man.
way with an amateur, you got to have a job still, and wake up, go to work, then I come train for 4 hours, and go back to the
4
same thing.
hours.
Yeah.
What exactly? And because my
You
training,
asked this. You sent me a message the other day.
I did.
I was like, I can't get out Saturday because we're going to be there for.
I'm like, what?
jiu-jitsu,
What are you
open
doing
mat,
for?
boxing.
Because I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm guess. I mean, when I lift, we lift for about 2 hours, depending on the day.
I mean, we have different
That's it.
classes that we go between. We have different coaches. You spend an hour with your Thai coach, then you spend an hour with your jiu-jitsu coach, or then you do
the
open
mat,
grappling.
open grappling,
And for MMA class, he's spending on. I mean, you tell him.
hour and a half, 2 hours, and then
And
I
it's
get
just
extra
what he
time with
needs to
these
work on,
guys and work with them, fine tune.
So it's not just all. See, to me, it's not just all punching.
No. There's very little actually. There's only about a half an hour of beating the piss out of each other
That's
every day.
it.
Well, no, if you considered open mat,
yeah,
okay, so like an hour and a half.
but you don't really get to punch people in the face there. So
Oh yeah,
You can.
Yeah.
Like I go over to the Thai room and do spar. There's like an hour of just open time where you can kind of do what you want,
some
unless
guys
you're a fighter.
spar, some guys rolling around on the ground work their submission
Like if you have a
game.
fight coming up, then you have a specific set of instructions that you're
Gotcha.
given to do. You have to roll for an hour straight. You have to all that, or you have to go over there and mitts for an hour. Whatever it is. So.
Well, there you go, man. So
It's all fun.
I mean, 4 hours. I don't think I could. I don't have the attention span to last 4 hours, but
Yeah, your
That's a
wife
lot.
told us that you have a lot of problems with stamina. So that's
Oh, no.
if you're gonna pick up my hair, the gloves are off, man.
the gloves are off completely. That's where we're going, huh?
So Ryan, your fight
Yeah,
is for whom?
Matrix Fights 9 in Philly.
There you go.
So I'm excited
Tell
about
us
that.
a little bit about
my
your
first
background.
out-of-state fight. I've had 3 fights in New York, 2-1. My last fight didn't go the way I wanted, so this time I picked up the training pace.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Now, when you have a fight that doesn't go the way you want, do you start looking back and saying, I could have done this better, I could have done this better?
Absolutely.
Or do you just say, you know what, you take it's a loss and move forward?
a little bit of both. You know, I take it how it went, and
Yeah,
I go back to the drawing board and work new things.
I'd agree. Yeah. Like at
It's
first
a little the
you're
same.
you're thinking like, God, I wish I did. But if you get caught,
You can't beat yourself up about it too much,
Yeah.
otherwise you get stuck in that rut.
Right.
and
That's the thing is you see a lot of fighters do that. They lose one and their head goes up their ass, and that's the end of their career. You know, because they think, oh, if I could have done this backwards, I could have done this different. I could have done. You can't think about it too long. You got to go. You got another
the
one.
game's 80% mental, so you have to be prepared in the head, and everything else works itself out.
So you're talking
It's deep, man.
Yeah,
Right?
it is. I like
He's
it.
been reading like the cliche
I've been
playbook
listening.
before he
Has
came in today. He was
That's
up
all
late
right.
night
That's all right. Nothing wrong
watching
with it.
old
He was
like
prepping.
Jordan
Unlike
interviews
us,
and-
he was
I
prepping.
did some yoga this morning.
Did you?
So I'm
Oh,
with
very
my inner
nice.
body. Yeah.
Wow.
My inner self.
Inner body.
Inner body. That's interesting.
You really got up in your inner body, huh?
Yeah, we're good.
So, I mean, we're talking, you know, when you're an amateur fighter, like you said, you have to go to work. You work a
You
40-hour
still got to
week
work
or
the same
whatever
job
it
because you
is.
still have bills to pay like everybody does, but, you know, we don't get paid to fight. So,
Right.
Kind of.
hey, man, he's making it big time over here.
Oh no.
You know.
He's
but-
big time, all right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can tell.
Yeah, but you got to work your 40-hour work week. Sometimes you work overtime. Like sometimes I work 50 hours during the work week, and I still come in and train same amount of time.
In the winter times, is that we're hitting into that time of year, is it easier or harder to get in the gym and train?
It's the same. There's
Is it?
no off season in mixed martial arts. So it's the same, consistent in the summer as it is the winter. The winter you have the holidays, so you got to watch your diet a little more.
They're just coming out of Thanksgiving.
yeah. Well, my
Yeah, what did
Thanksgiving
you eat
was
for
a
Thanksgiving,
week
buddy?
away I cheated a little bit. I had a little piece of pie,
I had a
In his
piece of pie.
defense, he was down lighter than he usually
Yeah,
gets. So
but I was only a
keep it
few
close
pounds
on him.
over my fight weight.
Mhm.
So that's my main goal is like I don't like to cut so much. So I like to get down 3-4 pounds within fight weight
Right.
the week of the fight, and then when it comes time, the cut's not so hard, so my body's not all lethargic.
Jacked,
And
yeah. All right, so we go into fight week, and
that comes from him.
no,
we taught him that
that's good. though.
cutting 35 pounds in a
It's
day.
not
We've
smart.
seen
Not
people
smart,
die.
Yeah.
But so you're walking into fight week after weigh-ins. Do you scarf, or is it stay where you're at?
You got two different stories because you got this. This one's going to be different. In Pennsylvania, there's different rule sets. You weigh in day of, which I'm actually a big
For
proponent
an
for.
amateur, you weigh in the morning of the fight,
Gotcha.
and
So you don't have time to really go
no.
and
Right.
which is another reason why it's important not to get used to doing that
not to have
45-pound weight
Right.
cut because now you've got 4 hours before your fight as opposed to a day and a
yeah,
half.
so you can't eat 2 or 3 meals
Right.
within that time.
But if you're fighting somewhere where you weigh in the night before, you know, you go eat a big meal, carb up. In the morning, you can have your breakfast, you know, rehydrate.
Yeah, energy.
Everything's good. You feel
Yeah.
I say
fine.
last time or 2 times ago we went to was it Delmonico's?
Delmonico's.
We went to
20
town at
24 ounce
Delmonico's.
That you
steak.
did.
Yeah. Yeah, we did some damage.
Nice. That's something
Oh, yeah,
a lot
you-
of people don't know. I mean, because everything is different depending on where.
Yeah, people
where
think
you
that there's
go.
like a unified MMA. There's unified MMA rules, but every state is in charge of their own commission, and they all alter it differently. So, like you said, in Pennsylvania, amateurs weigh in day before or day of.
Mm-hmm.
You know, then you go somewhere else. Pros weigh in day of. There's just little variants everywhere. Elbows aren't legal here. Knees aren't
And
legal
in
here.
Pennsylvania, ground strikes to the head. When you're on the ground, you can't strike to the head.
As
Really?
an amateur.
Can't
As
head-
an amateur.
As
okay.
an
as an amateur.
Gotcha.
Can't when you're standing up, you can't throw head kicks.
Interesting.
But
Still no elbows.
There's
but-
even
Right.
there's even a modifier to that now, though. It's just to give you an idea of how fucking confusing this whole thing is, which is why we need some kind of unified national MMA body. But different topic.
Could be here all day.
I know is and a union about fighter pay. All right. Anyway,
luck
because
with
you
that.
have to really pay attention to that kind of stuff. So it's important that you find yourself almost a universal program for yourself. You know,
Right.
because people that are cutting 45 pounds might not do so well in Pennsylvania, so they have to actually avoid fighting in that area.
Right.
So you have to find like this plan that works for you in almost all situations, because every situation is going to be a little different, and you got to do research figure out what you're going to be. Your travel plans are going to be different because of the weigh-ins and all that. It's just it's kind of a bit of a wild west out there still when it comes to MMA, especially in the amateur scene. Which is that's part of the reason why I wanted to have Ryan on is to bring a different perspective because I'm big league. I'm not, but I've been a pro for 3-4 years now. You've you're looking to make a break into pro in the next year or so, early next year, something like that. And this is going to be a big challenge. It's going to be a big fight. It's going to be his first out of stater. So there's definitely a different point of view that he's going to provide. It's going to be some interesting stuff.
So after this fight, not to get too far forward for you, but like you said, man, what's the track to going pro after this, man?
I just like taking one fight at a time, really. Like you said.
God, come on, give it a good answer. Really,
I don't want to get too far ahead, but
this is not a cliche show.
I want to take like one or two more fights,
Mm-hmm.
and then I don't know, talk to a manager, and see where we go from there.
Now let's turn. How do you go pro in MMA?
It's different, man. It is a different landscape even now than when I did. So you're fucking on your own there. No, like I had a guy that was setting me up with fights. It was just another fighter who will go unnamed. And he just one day was like, "You've already had 4 amateur fights. Why don't you go pro?" And for him, I think he was getting paid by the promoter to fill the card, but I didn't know that at the time, so I just went pro, and that was it.
Right.
And that's the thing is, it doesn't have to be like this big pump. It's just one day you're a pro, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to take any more amateurs. I'm going to go take a pro fight. But again, in some states like Pennsylvania, they have a prerequisite of how many amateur fights you have to have before you can go pro, and that has to be in a sanctioned area. Like the New York fights don't mean dick down in Pennsylvania, which is why we have our heavyweight Ed having a lot of trouble getting fights because he wants to go pro, but he doesn't want to take any more amateur fights.
Well, and he can't get any more
Pennsylvania's the
amateur
hotbed.
fights. Nobody wants to fight the guy.
Yeah, well, and Pennsylvania's the hotbed, the best bed for him. So, it's tough for him to get his pro debut. He has to go start looking in Jersey and things like that, which is where we've been exploring. And hopefully, he gets this soon.
Well, with that being said, man, let's turn it to the world of pro MMA right now. Obviously, in Bellator, the big fight with Bonner and
the
Tito,
season ender, the 131.
Which, I got to be honest with you, man, and this is from a fan's point of view and not so much, a fighter's point of view.
I got
you. Bonner wasn't in shape. I think everybody kind of knew that.
Well, when you take someone's steroids away.
Well, yeah, right. And he just looked like crap. I mean, he didn't, it wasn't a great fight.
He looked tired halfway into the first round.
Right.
But for what it's worth, he always looks really tired halfway through the first round. If you watch any of his fights, he never has this look of, I'm fresh and ready to go.
He throws hands like an ape.
Yeah,
he's just an exhausting gorilla-type fighter.
Right.
Which is one thing. A lot of people are like, well, he looked sloppy. Like, he always just looks sloppy. That's what you expect. And the second thing is like, everyone is really eager to poo-poo on the fight. And don't get me wrong, I don't think it was like a technical wizardry battle where it was.
And I don't think those guys. Those guys
like
are too old at this point where that's not going to happen.
Yeah, they're not going to.
It's not. They're going to throw bombs. That's what they're going to do.
But that's the thing is, half the time people are bitching about, oh, this fight is too technical. People are against the fence or they're on the ground and this is boring. Why don't they just get up and throw bombs? Those guys got up and threw bombs, and everyone throws a shit fist. Pick one and root for it. It was entertaining enough. And that's all I asked for. That's all I expected. I didn't go in expecting someone
I think it lived up to the hype.
Yeah, that's all that you wanted. You wanted to see two guys go in there and try and beat the piss out of each other. Guess what they did? They didn't do it in a particularly technical way. No one was pulling like rubber guard and doing a judo throw from whatever. They went in there and threw hands at each other with the occasional takedown, and it was fun. That's what I expected. That's what I got, and that's it. It just seemed way too hip to pick on the fight. Like people were like, "It's going to be terrible. They're old. It's going to be terrible." So, see, I told you it was terrible. It was, people were way too eager.
Well, you get those people that no matter, it doesn't matter what the fight is, they're going to go at it anyway and pick it apart. You know what I mean? It doesn't make a difference. But listen, I was successful. I think season per se, they don't really do too much. I think they're getting away from the seasons in Bellator, but
yeah, they are. There's going to be no more of that. It's going to be monthly from here on.
Scott Coker,
yes,
good thing for Bellator.
Good thing for Bellator. Good thing.
Because you did say, I want to go on the TV and get the ramp intro.
My God!
Right?
That was you watched it.
That was the best
part. That ramp. Oh God! Are you friggin' kidding me?
I believe me.
A lot of people are like, "Oh, it's just too stupid. It's too much like the WWE." There are things to gain from the WWE. What the WWF does, I'm not going to call it WWE because
call whatever the hell you
WWF
want.
To me. All right, that's what I grew up.
I grew up in the '90s.
It was the WWF. All right, the Taker and anyway. Yeah. What they do well is build stars. And what MMA needs to start doing is building stars, building identities. You know, it's tough to do it in this sport because anyone can lose at any time. That's what makes it exciting. That's why people tune in. So it's tough because if you're building just off records, that guy that goes on a 12-fight tear jumps into the big leagues and gets knocked out by a spinning heel kick out of left field that no one expected.
Right.
And now, where's my star? You know, you kind of got to stick with them. And this gives it a chance for guys to develop a little bit. It just gives them, it elevates fighters into that kind of special feel.
Well, when in taking it back to the mid 2000s, when when Chuck and Randy were going at it. I mean, and you had the Forrest Griffin and Bonner fight. I mean, those guys were at that point stars of the game from TV and from fighting. Obviously, Tito's been a star in the sport for a while.
Right.
Shamrock was and then fell off into the toilet. You know what I mean? But you get guys like that. Orlovsky was, I think, a star at one point.
Oh yeah, I remember growing up. Well, not growing up, but I remember this is before I even the thought of fighting ever came into my mind. I was at my friend's house and he was talking all about the UFC, and I was like, oh yeah, I used to watch it on occasion. And he was going through the channels, and there was this big piece about Arlovsky going in and shopping for watches and tuxes and things like that. And they do those kind of special build-ups like they did for boxing and other sports like that, which some of that's missing in MMA. They don't have those big build-ups, those big star names, and I think this is a really good step towards it.
Even the videos they do now, you know what I'm saying, and all the video packages, I think they're boring. They're not. It's the same crap all the time.
It's like someone that gives canned answers to responses about taking it one day at a time.
That's wrong. That's wrong. But I mean, you want to hear the crap talk. You want to hear, am I wrong? I mean, you want to hear people talk shit about each other. You know what I'm saying? And it makes it. Granted,
I'm interested at your opinion here because I'm not a huge fan of building up with artificial shit talking.
Right.
I think it should be true to your personality.
I think that sometimes being the bad guy is a good thing.
Right.
Like Tito, sometimes he's known for talking his shit, and that gets guys like, oh, I can't wait to see this fight because then he builds enemies.
Well, and you look at the perfect example of that.
People love watching.
The Diaz brothers are the best example of that. Everybody hates them.
People love watching fights between two people who hate each other.
Yep.
This is true. And that's the thing.
I know I do.
Yeah. A lot of people like that. I'm not huge on it. I'm not huge on generating artificial beef. If you really don't like someone, that's fine. I believe Tito and Stefan really hated each other. I agree. But at the same time, if there's not a need to build up with artificial talk and two guys just want to really test themselves, then build up the identity of the fighters.
Right.
Use their unique characteristics to generate some hype, Use something about that person that's unique and build it up. Use that as the icon, where they're from, what they did beforehand, whatever it is, whatever their story is. Identify the fighter. Don't just, when you use that kind of shit talking, to me, it seems like you're just filling it in because you could put two faces and just have them shit talk. It doesn't matter which one it is.
Right.
And then you're using that as an artificial hype machine. You don't have to build up the stars. I'm big on building an identity of a fighter. Fighters got to have one because that's what this sport is about. It's two people in a cage. It's not football where there's 200 dudes on the fucking
field. That said, though, is guys need to help themselves along, and I don't think you see that enough either. Listen, if I'm going to be this guy, that's where I'm going with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're going to say the things you're going to say, back them up and go forward with it. And that's like a guy like King Mo right now. I don't like him. I know you don't really care for him that much. Right. Right. But he goes in, he does his thing, and for the first time, the fight that he had in the last Bellator,
2 ago, not the season ender, right?
No, the season ender, where he actually said, "I respect the guy that he just fought." That was the first time I think I've ever seen him do that. But that adds to his identity because everybody sees him as being a jackass. You know what I mean? I mean, you call yourself King Mo.
Well,
I mean, it just kind of it's there.
You wear a crown onto the cage. You look like a dick.
Right.
Well, part of it, you definitely have a job as a fighter to build your identity. But on the same note, the league that you're fighting for should take that and run with it, and,
absolutely,
and build it up, as well. Work with each other. If you just sat there and you're some fucking vanilla paste, and you don't do anything exciting at all, and you just give canned answers. No, not like
you're going to eat that the entire day.
Can we go back to that question again?
Yeah.
Then you're not going to go far. You do have to build an identity, but the company should work with you to take that
Right.
and emphasize
Try
it.
to help you out a little
Rather
bit
than,
as well.
like I said, I just when people are like, oh, they have to talk shit to start fights. You don't, because
No.
that just makes you replaceable.
Right.
Anyone can get in and say, fuck you, Ryan, I'm going to fight you. I want to
Right.
fight you.
Right.
I want to
Get
fight
me
you.
all
Now
amped
watch
up.
you say it.
Yeah.
You could do it too. Anyone can say that. It doesn't require a special person. And if you want to build yourself as a star, which MMA should be pushing towards,
Can
gotta
you
have
do
some
that? Can you do that in the amateur ranks?
Sure, you can.
you
It
can.
may, if you do it too much or too extreme, it makes you and your team look bad.
Right.
So you don't want to.
Well-
I'm not going to go to the scales and start pushing
Oh, right,
somebody
right,
like
right.
they do and get
Yeah.
in somebody's face talking smack. You know, it just makes you and your team look bad.
Right. I think with that being said, and I know we're talking about the whole, making each state, and bringing one MMA together.
And especially in New York.
Right.
You don't want to put too
Well,
much of a
yeah.
bad name on it. 'cause
Right.
They already don't
That's
like
already
it.
a terrible name.
Yeah.
But could imagine, just like, in the world of semi-pro, I bring this up. You have your Northeast, you know what I'm saying? You have big dog teams in the Northeast. Imagine the Northeast, and the fighters that are, from here to Maine to, to Jersey, whatever it is, and everybody knows who they are, and then it develops that fight, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I
It
think that's
develops
part
a
of
little
what
more.
he was saying, and I'm like to somebody take a step. Like he's saying, as an amateur, you have to represent yourself a little differently as a pro.
Right.
As a pro, you have to build your individual identity and all
Yep.
that.
Because it's you.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
you're not out there flying the
Representing
flag
team.
for your
Yeah.
school.
Yep.
As an amateur, well, I mean, you still are to some extent, but it becomes a little different. I mean, I still very much wear, the
Right.
Taikai logo
Right.
with pride, and I always talk about them in the interviews. Go to Taikai, guys. All right.
Bing.
See it to the cameras. You can use them.
See that plug?
All right.
Plug?
They're handsome fellows like us with no hair.
True.
But as an amateur, I want to say it takes what you do. What you want to do is be a part of a team.
Right.
And you want to have schools, and you want to be a representative of the school saying, look how badass all the fighters coming out of the school are.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get pro eyes on your camp. And that's what you start hearing about.
Guys going, yeah.
America Top Team
Right.
camps. You
Yeah.
hear about
Team Alpha Male.
yeah, all sorts of camps.
Yep.
And that's what you're trying to develop as an amateur, is to show that you're an elite
Right.
camp and an elite fighter in that elite camp. And then as a pro, you're trying to be
Well,
like,
and then when you got, and I know you do the fight team stuff, which you haven't put a
Fight
name
team
on that.
training.
Yeah.
You need to put a name on that.
yeah, we
That
gotta
was your
figure
problem.
something out.
But-
we'll figure it out.
but
I
when
made a logo for Sagru MMA. We're gonna try and we'll figure something out.
Right, but you know what I'm saying. But when
Works.
you get to that point, because you're at that point of being a pro, being on big cards and that kind of thing.
Hopefully.
But I mean, you have. I mean, you know what I'm saying. And you get to that point, so now you develop. I mean, like Couture and all those guys that are really big names in the sport. You develop those teams, and then and then that takes it takes you to a whole different level for everybody that's in those teams too, man. And
Well, that's what we're trying to do in Syracuse. It's kind of tough, man, because
it's tough because New York isn't legal.
it's illegal
to
in New
have
York,
pro
and
fights.
even though it's illegal to have pro fights, when's the last time you even saw like I saw in Utica when they run these shows, Art of Combat, which never mind, that's a different topic, but. It's those getting like the local papers and stuff. When's the last time you saw anything in the Post about Gladius or local stars or?
As you know, mentioning the Post
I
Standard
know,
is
you
probably not a
really
good
hate
idea
the
around me.
Post Standard.
I don't. You know what
We're trying to get this
see-
past just the Syracuse area. So if
Right,
I just started a
right.
Post Standard rant for you, all these
No.
people out here are going to
Yeah.
be very confused. I'm going to point to this camera this time.
Yeah. Okay. Point to the camera. Here's the deal: Post Standard, Syracuse.com. If you're not Buffalo, if you're not SU, if you're not this, you're not. They're not going to cover you.
I know. Well, that's part of the problem.
And it's a huge problem. It's a huge problem for anybody, whether it's
You got
it's
hardworking guys like this dude
yeah,
here.
I agree.
I actually did see on News Channel 9 a couple Gladiuses ago.
Really?
They got like a little 20-second little
Yeah.
window.
Which is all you need. I mean, that's
Well, that's
just
it. I
It's a
mean, that
little
gets someone to tune in.
advertisement. I already
and then
knew
they go
about
to
it,
Facebook,
but
and then
right.
like before I started MMA, if I had known about it and I was watching the news or something in the morning, I could see, oh, this is something I'm
Right.
into. I didn't know that they did these
Yeah.
amateur fights here.
they go
Go
watch
check it
the
out.
next one. Yeah.
Go check it out.
That's part of the problem is we're not in an environment that's fostering, so it's a little tough as an upstate New Yorker. But
Mhm.
it also, I think, breeds tougher fighters because, and that's what it's
Gotta
going
work
to be
harder
really
for
good.
it.
He's
Gotta
going to go
have
on the
that
road.
grit, man.
Yep.
He's going to go on the road and he's going to get booed. He's fighting some dude from
I'm
Philadelphia.
going to get booed there because this
Well,
guy
you got
is-
booed.
Oh yeah, I got booed. Fucking, are you kidding me? I've been booed out of 90% of the
I'm
East
going to go
Coast.
in there.
Camden
I
got
watched
booed.
this kid's last fight, and
Yeah.
he packed that house. So I know I'm going to go there. I'm going to get some booze, and it's just going
It
to
tests your
ramp me
metal.
up more.
That's all you need, man. That's all. And I'm telling you right now, when we talk about that and in the fight in the last Bellator that that I went to for you, and Tamden knocked the kid out in 4 seconds, and he was a hometowner. I mean, a complete hometowner, and the place was just silent. It was freaking hilarious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So those are the kind of things that you go and do. And just start making
you start it now, and then when he's on the bigger stages, because he's going to be there. When those boos come in, they don't rattle. And some people rely on it. Like that's the thing is you see these guys that only fight in their own backyard or only fight on Gladius.
Or Spirit FC.
Oh, come on!
I
know you had to.
That's funny. All right,
They're gonna watch this though.
So
they're the 5 or 10 people.
Before we go into your you have your question. And
I do.
You have your questions.
To the fan page. If you haven't been there, Crazy Mike Mustelli on Facebook.
You do that so well. I'm so very proud.
I practiced it in the mirror this morning.
I'm
sure
he did.
He read his fake ass lines. So.
I have going over my head.
But going to the big time MMA, we have of course DC Jones coming up.
Yes, my very first sparring partner, and John Jones, and I will say this to the day I die. I hit him with a spinning heel kick, the Dennis Segru special. In the ribs as he came crashing in and dropped him, and Chris Roach will verify that.
It gets me every time.
Nice.
I know.
Very nice.
He is so awkward. He threw me around like a ragdoll. I mean, I had only been training like a year or so, and he was training for his UFC. I want to say debut. It was against one of this Capoeira guy, and they actually called up Tai Kai. I called up Ken, and they're like, "Look, Jones has got his UFC debut. Do you know any Capoeira 205ers?" And they're like.
As a matter of fact, we have one.
This one joined, and he's here. And so, we went up there, and he's so awkward, so tough to gauge. I just don't. If he gets it on the ground, I see DC actually winning, but I don't think he's going to be able to get him on the ground that easily. Jones moves really well, and he's just, like he said, the strikes come at just these weird angles. I remember he like we got tied up, and he wrist locked me and threw me with a wrist locky thing. I was like, what in the shit?
You don't even know what it just hit you. You're like, what the hell?
I was like, that was fucking weirred. So,
but do you think the hype from this fight will live up to the fight actually?
I don't know. I don't. You go first.
I do.
As to why?
I think DC's gonna impose his wrestling on him if he gets in that clinch. I think he's gonna take him down.
Really?
Yeah, but that's just the thing is
you got to get there.
DC hasn't. When's the last time he finished the fight besides the barista?
That's the way I see it going.
If he gets him, that's the problem. Is I don't like watching him fight because
range though.
His 205 fights is just these cage humping fests. They drive me insane.
Yeah.
He doesn't even take him down. Although last time he was a little more dynamic. Who did he just beat at 205? He fought the barista guy. That was the.
He fought Henderson. Henderson barely broke 200 pounds. Look it up.
Yeah, it was. He had post. It was post HGH Hendo. And he was like 199.
Yeah.
That was
ugly. That was sad.
It's a sad day. Other than that, But he's going to edit this, so we don't have to. But we can keep talking.
I'm going to leave this in here.
We're just going to
leave it the way it is.
Watch you Google. That's
if you can, edit that first question out so I don't have to hear him beating me up.
Oh, then the rest of the jokes won't make sense, Ryan. Then he's going to have to go through the whole thing.
Cummings. That was Cummings. Was it? No.
Who the fuck's Cummings? Was that the barista?
Same thing.
Dan Henderson was the last one.
Yeah. Who weighed in at 198?
And then was it Patrick Cummings was the
barista?
So
those have been his two. And he's getting a title shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was undefeated at heavyweight. That's right.
Well, but remember he wasn't going to get a title shot. That was supposed to be Gus's title shot, and Gus got hurt, and then Gus is mad because the fight didn't happen. And
Gus, we covered that. We covered
that on we did. I just don't. I still don't think Gus. I don't know, man. And you should listen. What the hell's your problem? You're going to listen now. Hey, guys, doing a podcast.
Hey, did you hear me?
Yeah.
He's going to fast forward through us.
Yes, yeah, right. They don't care about him.
This is video now, so he's going to see. He's like, my mouth's not moving. Now it is.
There. And then we have Hendricks and Lawler 2 coming up. What do you think of that one?
Super excited.
Always entertaining. Lawler, the great phoenix of the MMA world.
Why can't you grow a beard?
I do.
Maybe then
I
you
grow a fantastic beard.
I think you should grow a full beard.
Well, Manuary's coming up.
Because when you grow full beard, doesn't this kind of deflects the shots?
There's actually
after his
two
fight
schools
camp
of thought.
Down in Philly for McGeary, he came in with a beard, and I was actually pretty more intimidated.
I grow a fierce beard.
I think you need to grow a beard.
Yeah, it was intense.
I get itchy.
No, it doesn't get you.
I do grow
this is what you
do.
Oh, you're like me. All right. See, you shave underneath.
But here's the deal. Listen, there's actually a science to this. This is true. There are two opposing. Really, give me that look.
No, I'm
superstitious. I gotta shave my beard before my fights.
Well, I do. Here's the thing. Boxing, the rule is you actually have to be clean shaven the day of. The ref will inspect your face and be like, okay, you can fight.
I did not know that.
Yeah, otherwise they'll shave. We had an amateur fight. A guy from Tai Kai. Oh, picked his it.
Yeah, that's definitely not getting edited.
No, that's just. I'm not editing. I don't edit any of this now. That happened.
Yeah, he showed up at the card and they were like, "Can't fight. You have to go shave." It was Lawrence, I think, and he had to actually run to a gas station and shave his beard. No, it was Brad. It was badass Brad.
Figures.
That makes a lot of sense.
Figures.
Yeah, they made him actually run to the gas station and shave.
That's terrible.
Yeah, what did you have to do? But the reason that is the punches actually have less friction and don't impact as directly on your face, and they slide off easier.
Okay.
But in MMA, there's a lot of grappling and stuff, and you can imagine having one of those beards or stubble rubbing your fucking face. I was rolling the other day, and someone had some fierce stubble, and they got
That's
right
annoying.
across my eye, and
Cut you-
holy
it
shit,
cut
it
your-
hurt.
yeah.
I was like, it almost cut me open.
Yeah.
Hurt so bad. So you got two
I
opposite
will be
schools.
shaving mine
You gonna go in?
before Friday.
You gonna shave?
Why are you gonna shave, man?
Gotta look pretty, man.
No, be a
trim it up a
man,
little bit.
will you?
I'm gonna
Be a
trim it up
man.
a little bit.
With
You're already
cheekbones
there.
like
Look
that.
at that.
Look at that jaw. Look at that jaw. You can't hide that. That's a jaw. Show it to the people at home.
Nice.
Look at that.
Look at.
Give him blue
look at-
steel.
Oh damn. Very. Wow.
That's intimidating, right?
It is
If I
intimidating.
go up there at
I
those
might have
scales,
to.
I'm
I
gonna
might
be
have to
scared.
zoom in on that.
You know
one.
what I'm curious about? I want to see what your weigh-in face would be.
My weigh-in
Yeah,
face.
give it
What
to
would you
us.
have to do? Let's see your weigh-in
If you were
face.
to have
Come
a
on.
stare down,
How
let's see
many?
it.
I
over
take
here. Come
selfies
over
all the
here and
time,
do it.
man. I'm not. No, I
No,
mean,
you start your stupid podcast not looking at the camera, so you always look like borderline.
And I'm still not looking at the camera.
derpish.
See, the camera's on YouTube.
I know. Well, I said you should come over here and
No,
have a
I
stare
don't
down
need
with
to.
Ryan.
I don't
And
need to.
He needs to practice his. He's got to fight.
Big Smoothie 95X. You can
practiced
see
it
all
this
my
morning in the
selfies. I
mirror.
got good stuff.
We do practice these things.
Do you really?
Did you practice your weigh-in pose?
No, I haven't yet.
I did.
haven't.
Well,
Are you serious? You
camera,
really
I have a
practice
press
these things?
conference, so I have to practice it.
You
Yeah.
practice these things?
Well, some people are going to do this one. Some people do this one. Some people just stand there and look.
I'm doing the. If I was in a fight, I'm doing the Hulk Hogan.
That one.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun,
Yes.
dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, I think it's so, but that's another part of the problem. Wait,
Well,
it's
you have to-
cliche to go with fist up like it's so cliche. Next time, don't
You gotta
do it.
go in there with a big
Just
smile,
stare at him.
raising your
That's what I'm
eyebrows, like,
saying.
yeah.
You
Some
smile.
Let's
Dude,
do it.
Could you imagine that?
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
I do the arrogant smirk. I've been told that. I didn't do it intentionally, but I've been called on it several times. Where
This
I
is-
come up to him and I do.
I noticed for your weigh-ins,
You do
stand
that.
up like a gentleman. Like I could really.
You get extra tall. You get extra tall.
You know that meme that
here's
they have?
here's what you do the next time. Next time,
Well,
it's just.
I'm 6'5". You got to use that as a
I know,
mental edge. I'm looking down at
But
their midget
here's
ass.
what you do the next time.
Not like him at nipple level.
Because you're going to end up with a short. I mean, you're always going to end up with
work
somebody
my
shorter
son
than
in
you.
That's
Gravity.
fingers crossed.
Right, for the most
I
part.
haven't. They've been all 6'2"
Well,
and above.
But here's what you do.
Horseshit.
Don't even put your hands up. Just stare at them. Stare over them. Don't even look at them.
Don't even look at it. Just
Yep. Just
Oh,
stare
sorry, I
over them and smile. Just before you break it up, just smile.
Blow him a kiss.
That's it.
don't blow him a kiss.
No, blow him a kiss.
Don't blow him a kiss.
Yes.
No, haven't you ever seen the Crazy Horse where the guy blows a kiss and gets punched in the face?
If they punch you in the face, then
no,
you're
that
gonna,
way.
He
it
actually
doesn't
kissed
matter.
him. He actually kissed him
Yeah.
there. I did see that.
All right, we got to get
Just
into
reach
these.
out and give him a little one of those.
We got to get into these questions. All right,
Let's let him move.
this was off of your. I'm telling you, just give
Of
him
my
just,
page.
just give him a smile and blow him a kiss. I like that idea.
I still want to see yours. Until I see yours, there's going to be no alterations in
No?
mine.
All right, good.
Your face is all red.
It
You're
is.
getting nervous.
It is.
No,
You would
it's
think I
okay.
wouldn't be.
I know.
I'm not really
You've been
nervous.
in fights.
No.
Really?
Well,
People don't pick
football
on
with
you
a
'cause you're
helmet
giant.
on? With a helmet on. Who am I
Yeah, those
fighting?
don't count.
Who am I fighting when I was bouncing? I'm trying to choke somebody out. I'm not trying to.
That's true.
I'm not very good at it, but
Never been in a fight?
no.
How much can you know about yourself? Never been in a fight. That's a fight club. Thank you. Boom, blow it up.
Wow.
Hey, man. Hey.
All right, you went
whoa,
fries. I went potato. That's okay.
What the hell is that?
That's how we do it.
Is this
man.
what you do at Tie Guy?
Oh, we
You
practice.
apparently need to
We
practice
have our
that.
little handshake.
Yeah,
You have a handshake?
I mean, before each.
It's
no,
secret
go ahead.
squirrel stuff.
No.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
oh,
All
all
right.
Secret
All
squirrel.
right, sorry.
I'm giving it to him under the table.
All right, what's
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what you're doing under
That's
the
right.
table.
right.
All right, questions off your fan
sticking with
page.
Questions off the fan page.
Let's get it.
They have some for
Are these
just.
general questions?
Oh, there's some for me, and then some for. Then the rest are pretty much for everyone.
Let's hear 'em.
Should I have their names? I don't have their names. written
Nah,
down.
nah, hell with it.
You guys will know.
Yeah, the
You
camera
guys will
gets
know. I don't know who I was shooting over there. No one. All right. This one says to me, but we're gonna do it for both
just
of us.
read it.
Let's do it.
Do you want me to read it? Well, I can't read your writing. Go ahead.
Do you want to try?
Looks like a 3-year-old. My daughter probably
Let's
has
start.
better handwriting
We'll
than
start from the bottom and go up.
All right.
Does your style of fighting depend on your opponent?
You can answer that one
Okay.
first.
No, you. I read it.
Okay. Read it again.
We got an eeny, meeny, miny, mo this, or what?
Does your style of fighting depend on your opponent?
Yeah. Because
there was actually parentheses says ground or stand up, but
well, if somebody has good wrestling, I'm not going to go in there like a madman and try and get too close to them and, rush them too fast so that they can get an easy takedown. I'm going to keep my distance, watch what they're doing, measure them up.
See, I'm going to say no-ish. I'm going to lean more towards no because it's my job to impose how I want to fight. Yeah, I'm ready for any situation,
Right.
but I want to make that guy fight out of his game. If I'm too much watching what he's doing, then
start losing touch.
I start losing touch on my own style.
Right.
So I have a core style that I refuse to kind of budge from, which I mean I probably should, but there's still you're ready for if that core style doesn't work, you have alternative routes.
Right.
More so than now I'm not going to stand. I'm still going to do what I want to do. If it doesn't happen to work out, then I got plan B and C, but I still want to start with
go in there with a game plan and
everyone's got a game plan to get punched in the face.
Until they get punched in the nose. Mike Tyson.
He
Quote.
said that. Quote, Ryan Belinfey, quote.
Bam. Done.
Hashtag
Next
Belinfey.
question.
I steal the Tyson style.
Do you have a favorite submission to use in a fight or strike? Arm bars, obviously. I like
Really?
those.
You don't say. Well, I don't think you should armbar anymore
Why not?
because you broke the rib last time you did that.
I know, but I break other people's arms, so trade-off, and I got paid more for it than they did.
Good point.
No, I don't. I like whatever submission I can get, I'll take. Wherever I can hit them, I'll hit them.
Oh, boring.
What? Why?
Seriously,
So going with that.
The one that works.
In
I mean,
training.
seriously, if I'm in mount, why am I going to go for an armbar when you can go for a
Because
head
you
and
win
arm
that
triangle?
way.
Have you ever seen? Have you ever
Even if
seen?
your coach comes in and yells at
Mike's
you
been in
after
mount and gone to an armbar
exactly.
a couple times.
That's
You
what
have
I was
no idea.
referring to.
There's so much story of my fourth amateur fight. Dennis was in the corner. I got mount, and he starts yelling, "Joke over the armbar, Mike!" And so there's a constant running gag of
Bing,
this.
bing, bing. Right
And I
there.
still
Mike
went
went
for
for
the
the
armbar.
armbar.
And the dude escaped it, and I turned it to an omoplata, and then he escaped that, and I turned it to a triangle. One, cool. But he came into me and goes, "I told you not to go for the fucking armbar." And then I get in the ring for the interview. This is the real bitch, because they did the post-fight interview. They're like, "Your coach told you not to go for the armbar, but you did. What do you have to say about that?" And I was like, "Fuck you, guy."
Way to put me on the spot.
Thanks for that.
I think
man.
next time you should say,
And then
hey,
and
how
then I
about
did it
fuck you? How
again
about that? Yeah.
Against the kid that I was elbowing
Yeah.
the Jesus out of.
Yeah.
And Dennis, again, if you watch that tape afterwards, no happy joy from Dennis comes in and goes, "Don't ever do that again." I was like, how about a little bit of handshake?
All right. So in
That's
training,
coach.
what's your
Go-to
what's your
submission?
go-to?
Kimura
There it is.
from
Yeah,
guard.
see, there's your favorite.
Bam.
Yep.
Yeah, that's...
All right. Next question.
Well, I said or strike. Do you have a favorite strike? Is it the hammer punch?
That's top secret. That's the hammer punch.
The top secrets.
Your opponent's probably not
You'll
going to
see
watch
it this Friday.
Just... Ooh. See, you're getting better with them. You're getting better
there
with them.
it is. All right.
My favorite strike is...
the armbar.
I don't know. Yeah, the arm bar. No.
The armbar is your
My
favorite
favorite
strike.
strike is the one that hurts the most.
Yeah, right. All right. Most difficult part of what's the most difficult part of training camps?
Training camps.
What's the hardest part
I'd
of
have
it?
to go back again.
The part
I'd
where
have
I'm
to
training.
go back again and saying to where for amateurs you have to go to work still that same day and come home and train, and you got to watch your diet at the
Oh,
same
you're putting in 16, 17
But
hour
you got
days.
people at work that you work with can eat whatever they want. They bring McDonald's into
Yeah.
the break room, and meanwhile you're like, "Fuck, I got to eat this can of tuna and this salad." You know,
Can I just
The
point
hardest
out
part
that
is staying on your
I
diet.
didn't leave my job until after my second fight at Bellator.
I'll probably still be pro and still have a job.
Yeah, you're gonna. Well, you got kids. Kid.
I got a baby.
Gotta do it,
Yes.
man.
Gotta do it.
Gotta do it.
I'm probably gonna pick one back up real soon. So
Yeah, duh.
yeah, we don't make much.
You think?
Most difficult part of train camps. About week 4 for me.
Why?
Because it's just you're not close enough to the green
Monotonous.
light at the end of the tunnel,
Well-
but you're so far in that you're already.
You're on a
My-
different schedule
yeah,
than
I run
amateur. You
usually,
start your training camps 2-3 months out.
Yeah, I
Mine-
run
mine's
10 to
about
12 week fight
6
camps.
weeks
You run
from
6 to
my fight.
4 weeks. So different answers, different lifestyles. See, that's why we have
That's
it.
why we have him here.
Look at that. Look at
Bam.
that. You're serving your purpose, and we both did the same thing that time. Good. Everything's coming up.
I'm glad to see you practice that. Next question. What do you want me? I could answer that, but I mean, I could take it back to the football days.
I'm
But
gonna
I
throw a
you go
remote
ahead.
at you because that's the only
Don't
thing. I
throw
have.
things at me.
You deserve them.
That's not very nice.
No, it's not.
You're not nice. Does it help your fight? And this is a weird question, but I think it should get interesting responses. But I kind of like it. Does it help your fight if you feel more connected to your opponent or less so? I don't know. Connected could mean a lot of different things.
Yeah,
so.
what does that mean? I'm not really sure what that means.
Some people, for instance, I've had fights where the guy messages me online and like friend requests me and wants to talk to me and smiles at me before the fights and tries to be my buddy backstage.
I don't play that game.
I do not either. I do not like it. I like to be as distant. Afterwards, I'm friends with everyone that I fought. Everyone, well, not everyone. Me and him, we have unfinished business. But everyone that I beat, I'm friends with. How about that?
And he has a title shot, too.
Yeah,
does that bother you?
I can't wait to see
no,
that.
This is...
because he didn't have another fight after yours.
No, he did.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
I must have missed
Yeah,
him.
he did too.
I must have missed him.
Yeah, they weren't as good.
You mean he didn't catch somebody in the side of the...
They didn't get a highlight reel.
Yeah, I know.
Gotcha.
God, that's so pissed me off. The one thing I said is I want to go through my career and not be anyone's highlight. That's all I said.
And you're still going to see
I
it.
fucked it up. Yeah.
Hey, man.
It's a bit of a pisser. But you know what?
But you learn from it, and that's the thing.
No, you know what the good thing is people are like, oh, I saw you get knocked out on Spike TV. I was like, oh, yeah, what'd you do on Spike TV?
Right.
Oh, nothing.
Exactly.
Right, and then I slap him in the face.
That's what I'm saying.
But yeah, no, I like to be as distant from them beforehand, and then afterwards we can be buddies. I like I said, I'm friends with
you can
most
go
of
get
them.
a beer at the
I
bar
don't think
or
you
whatever.
should. I'll be honest with you. Amateurs, not so much, but I think once you get to the pro, I just don't think you should be friends after you fight.
Well, I can be enemies. I can turn that switch back.
Well, but here's the thing, because you never know if you may have to fight them coming around again. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's an interesting point.
And the only time that I think you should become friends is if you end up in the same training camp. Do you know what I'm saying? If for some reason, say you were to move somewhere and ended up with that training with that person, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I feel you there,
it's just, I don't know. I guess it's just me. It's just like,
well,
but I get it because
buddies. Like we're not hanging out every day,
right. But I mean,
swapping wives.
Because
it's like we're
right. But I get it on
that.
That
Slipped right under the radar.
It did.
Well,
it did.
to go on that, this last guy that I fought beat me. He came in, just so happened he came in to train for an open mat, and I grappled with him 2 rounds because part of me wanted that vengeance back.
Right.
So I grappled him and I submitted him 8 times.
Yeah, it's
so
just that one
that
time.
humbled me a little bit, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, but it wasn't bad blood. Like you weren't rolling with him and then like taking cheap shots.
But there's,
at him.
I mean, and there's both ends because I mean, from the years of playing semi-pro, you play the same guys in and year out, and I get. Right. I mean, there's guys I just don't like. I hate. We've had battles.
Don't get me wrong. There's
you know
going to be someone that you get in a fight with that you're not going to be friends with afterwards.
Right.
But I don't feel like it's. Afterwards, I can be a buddy with someone.
I'm friends with some guys still now. You know what I'm saying, from playing days and that kind of stuff that play around the state and around the country. Yeah. It's just I don't know. I guess it's one of those things in my head where as long as I'm playing,
that's why we got this round table,
right? But as long as I'm playing, I don't want to like you.
You put all that stuff
I mean?
on the back burner. Put it aside for now.
Bro, I hate them going up to it. Doesn't matter if you're buddies, smiling, trying to shake my hand, and a lot of them do. A lot of them try and be your friend backstage.
That's why you just smile at them.
Oh, fuck that.
All right. Anyway,
I continue to scowl, and then
Good answer.
Are we on a? Is there a time?
Well, we're almost to 50 minutes, man.
Okay, all right. That's why he's like, next question.
You're not the one. You're not the one editing this. Oh. So there you go. Bam. Here you go. And next.
Pre-fight motivation? ? Music ? Yoga ? I don't know how that last one fits in there, but.
Listen, some people do yoga.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I think it's asking, what do you do
to get the mind right?
Yeah, what do you do to get ready for your fight? Do you listen to music? Do you do yoga? What do you do?
Put my iPod in and listen to some Beethoven, man.
You stole that from me.
I stole it from Ed.
You stole it from me.
I stole it from you. No, I do. Swear to God. Because
Frank
if I start
Sinatra and
listening
Beethoven.
to hard rock, I get my head all pumped up. I listen to something
slow,
something move.
Yeah.
And it just keeps your flow going.
When I first started,
keeps you calm.
7 years ago, I used to listen to death metal before, and by the time I got there, I was like,
you're so amped up, you're at an adrenaline dump, and you're no good.
So now I listen to stuff whatever I can to stay calm. Although now it's almost weird, because I've almost come full circle again, where now I get too calm listening to all that shit. So I need to find, because I've been doing it for
ramp it up.
I need something to bring something a little up. I need to find a happy medium. It's strange.
It's a good point, though.
I play a lot of video games on my phone backstage.
Shocker.
Yeah, well, I do. This is true.
Do you have
there was a science to it.
Did you going to start bringing a board game with you, too, and play Shoots and Ladders or whatever the hell the last one that you... What were you playing with your brother?
Munchkin and Boss Monster. Yeah. I played him with Dennis, too. You're picking on our coach. You're picking on our coach.
Hey, I didn't say he did.
I said that I played
on
it.
the record.
They can see you. But listen, this is true. I have the Labyrinth game, where it's just a little marble. But because originally I used to get so nervous.
Keeps your mind right, yeah.
I was shaking, and I had to very concentrate on keeping my hands loose and relaxed and making smooth movements. So it's a little thing, but yeah.
Makes sense, though.
Yeah, right. This was an interesting one. They asked for how do I become as good as you? They asked both of us.
As good as me?
Yeah.
Well, you got to be mentally tough. You got to be tough, and you got to hit hard. I mean,
all right, that is the keys. That is Ryan's 2 strong points. Boy hits like a brick, and you can't stop him unless you shoot him.
motivation, man.
And even then, it's dodgy. Train a shit ton. That's my answer. Just train a shit ton. Like
Nobody just gets good. I mean, Dennis says it all the time. Mike just didn't come in there and become a Bellator fighter. He came day in, day out. Oh, there's your little limelight. Right there. I got you covered,
Did you see how happy I was?
Look, he's all glowing and stuff now.
Feel good. The rest of my day is going to be great
really,
now.
you got to get in and train, man. Put in the work. Even if you do have that full-time job, you got to find that balance. Even if you have a family, I have a family. And
when I first started doing
and train.
I had 2 jobs. I'd go up. I'd work as a mechanic, and then I'd work at a car wash, or I'd work as a mechanic, and then I worked at a landscaping. And it was 2 jobs, and I was still trying to train 5-6 days a week. You got to do that. Yeah. It sucks. You're not making money.
Some people who want to do it for a hobby, they'll only come
just to say, hey, I train, I do this.
The other thing too is,
but if you really want it, you gotta think to yourself and ask yourself, what do you want more? You want to become a professional fighter one day. You got to get in and put in the work.
It's weird. I was on mixedmartialarts.com. I'm on the underground there. I play on the forums on occasion. And someone was putting up this thing, I want to go pro and this and that. And I was like, you got to fucking figure out why you want to fight. Because he's all talking about, I don't want other people benefiting money off my work. I'm like, get the fuck out. If you're thinking of money at all, wrong goddamn sport. You don't make dime one doing this.
Nope.
If you want to do it for the money, you should have been a lawyer.
Yeah. What's your why, man? That's the biggest thing. What's your why?
People want to come in here and they think it's going to be stars and fame and you're in the bright lights and that's cool. And people get addicted to just that. They're gone in a hurry because they don't train enough. Then someone knocks them the fuck out in the ring for someone that wants to be
goodbye.
About being a warrior and being hardcore and shit like that. These people, you got to find the reasons. So
got to have heart.
That's how do you become as good as us, as fighters that have experience. You train your ass off, be mentally tough, have heart, and hit like a brick shit house. I don't. I kick really hard, though, so that's cool.
He kicks like a mule. It's not fun.
That's what I have to do to him, because he comes like, raw. I'm like, get the fuck back. I'm going to kick him in the legs.
Don't ever kick me.
I'm going to kick him.
Don't do that.
All right, next. Both fighters. Is there a certain technique or fighting style you prefer and why?
Yeah.
Is this going to be a, you won't tell us till the next time if you come in?
No. Fighting style, I resort back to like, I have like a Mike Tyson fighting style. I'm known for like coming in as like a bull, but I'd like to switch that up and be a little more versatile and round it out a little bit.
Big word.
I know. I've been
hitting the thesaurus.
Yeah, dictionary.
Wow.
But
he said dick. I've been in here just as long as you,
and I'm the one that has issues.
Yeah, I didn't say I didn't.
Yeah, well, that's true. You're right.
What about you?
You can answer the
Me?
question.
Yeah, are you gonna...
Sure.
Because you're honestly like you've gotten away from the capoeira type stuff.
I know. I would like to get back into it, and I just never seem to pull the trigger on a lot of it. I want to start using more of my stand-up spinny kicky shit, but I like to Thai fight. I like to stand up and throw kicks and punches, but that doesn't seem to happen much.
I'm not so much of a kicker, not because of my height. I just don't like to. I prefer to use my hands, bob and weave. I have, tree trunks.
He's 90% torso,
but you can have small legs and unload on somebody.
That's true. But at that range, might as well punch him in the face.
Good point.
Hands are generally quicker than feet.
Right.
Yeah,
there you go.
Fight science.
Next question.
That's it.
Next question. Pushing us along, Schmoove.
Next, all right, let's make this the last one. This is going to be the last one.
Well, there's 2.
Okay.
There's one for me.
We'll get the best
but
one.
I will skip that one.
Okay,
I'm gonna ask the one that's it says it. Okay, Ryan, in or out of Bellator, who do you want to fight? There you go. Who do you want to fight as a pro? Who would you like to fight as? So we made it for both of us. See what I did there? I'm a team player.
Bellator or UFC?
It says in or out of.
Pick one in each.
Jesus.
I'd like to fight Robbie Lawler.
Wow. Why?
Because he's a southpaw, and
not the
his brother finds out the hard way that southpaw lines up just perfect for my right hand.
You smack Bernie up?
Yeah!
Hey! We got a Bernie.
Bernie gets wobbled every time we spar. No matter how light we go.
Yeah,
I always come with that overhand right.
Well, he's got some health issues, man. Yes.
His stance is actually coming along.
He's got heart for days, man.
Yeah, he does.
He does.
And that'll take him a long way.
Yeah.
Proud of him, man. Proud of him.
Who do I want to
I
fight?
love the Bernie.
Liam fucking McGeary.
Dave McGeary,
yes,
there
no,
it
you
is.
definitely
Done.
do.
Pretty
There's
simple.
no doubt about that.
I would like to fight King Mo because I know that I'm on his level. And then out of Bellator, who would I like to fight? I'd like to fight John Jones again. I fought him. I'd like to fight him again. That'd be fun.
Technically, you sparred with him. There's a difference.
There's a difference of sparring now as opposed to sparring then.
No, I'm sure it was
that
a
was
lot.
back in the bomb squad old days, and that was just fighting. It was just fighting in a barn. Was the only difference.
All right, take your last question.
What areas do you want to improve?
My ground game. Always constant improvement
part
on the
of the ground
ground because 80% of the fights go on the ground. You know, you can stand up, but if you got a good wrestler, he's going to take you down. You need to learn to work off your back. You know, work your guard game, and that's where he's strong.
I do that. Guard stuff.
That's where definitely in the ground you can always improve.
But for what it's worth, I was originally that wasn't my strong point. I didn't like it, so I just always.
We go to a jiu-jitsu school, so you know.
Yeah. Helps you
Right.
I would like to improve my boxing. I've got a good Thai boxing and all that, but my right hand has a tendency to get a little sloppy. I want to get it straighter down the pipe, and I want to start knocking people the fuck out.
How do you do that, buddy?
Hitting them in the face and neck area.
You can't hit your brother in the face and neck area.
I did, and he gets all wobbled.
All right, man. So there you go. Question, and I think that went well.
I think so too.
very
If it
good.
wasn't for some kind of bully asshole in the,
I'm not trying to be a bully, man. Listen, my job as the host to keep things moving along.
Fair enough.
That's what my job is.
It's true.
Right?
Yes.
Remind him of being the bully about that question that I answered.
What?
He's a bully.
Are you sure you don't want to? You don't
beat
want
me
to
up-
praise
you
God
beat me
for
up
your?
for like 20 minutes over there. I don't know what that's all about.
That's what he does.
I thought you were a tough fighter guy.
Listen,
Look,
I
Ryan,
got a sensitive
Ryan.
side too.
Fine.
All right, so if he caught you,
I
would he knock
flattered
you
you
out?
so much
Would he?
for
If he
this.
caught you, would he knock you out?
Oh yeah, Ryan hits like I remember
I've
when
got
he
heavy
first
hands?
joined the
Couple times.
gym. We were just. He's like, I want to fight. I want to be a fighter. I was like, great. Another one of these assholes.
Another one of these guys.
And then, so I was moving around with him, and I was just kind of being an arrogant dick, and I had my hands
And I
down,
hit
kind
him.
of dancing around. He goes, "Whoa, whap!" I was like, boom.
Shit just got real.
All right. So now I need to pay attention.
Yep.
To this, 'cause
Yes.
this is a riskier situation than I assumed.
There you go. All right, man. This is going to wrap things up. Ryan, thank you for coming in, brother. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
Good
And,
luck.
good luck. Absolutely.
This Friday, we're ready to bring it.
Nice.
Is it going to be? Do they have like an ASX thing or a Go Fight Live thing?
I don't think so.
But keep an eye out to I'll post the video.
You-
All right.
Yeah,
Because Matrix Fights usually puts
they
it up.
record.
So
There you go.
It's gonna be a good one, man. I'm excited about it.
Good deal, man. Thanks for coming in, brother.
Thanks
As
for having
always, Michael.
well, thanks.
Thanks,
Nice to
pal.
see you
again.
Yeah, I know.
Ryan, thanks. He was out working his ass off just before he came here for an hour, hitting mitts, working head movement, being a
Nice.
generally dangerous motherfucker. So.
I'm gonna go home and have a popsicle or something.
Drink a beer. Drink a beer. Call it good.
I
Crazy
could have
Smooth
some.
Combat Radio. That's a wrap.